Yeah. Yeah, it's just people gonna see this.
No, like
people gonna see this, and people are gonna know our world. And I wasn't sure I wanted people in my world. Like, this is mine.
I always knew I like to like talk, like have in-depth conversations. And I always wanted to kind of either put them via like a voice note or something. Yeah. Just didn't know how to.
Now, baby, your words. Let me tell you, I could be on the phone with this girl talking to her about anything, and she will say something that's like, hold on, friend, let me put that in my notes. Say that again. Say it one more time. I need to put that in my notes. Like, it be like
from
parables.
From God to my, because I don't know where it comes. Well, I know where it comes
from the Lord.
It's definitely my gift.
It be like how she it's a gift.
It's a gift. It's a gift. Yeah, I have a way with encouragement. I have a way with encouragement.
You do.
Always there to have everybody back, you know?
Yeah.
Be that person.
That is you. That is who you are. That is who you are. Like, from day one. That's why I was like, don't let people use you. What you have is too good to give to everybody. Everybody don't deserve that.
But you also have a way of making sure people see the beauty in themselves. Always looking their best. Like, even now, come on, friend. We finna put this braid in your hair real quick. We finna slide these edges down. Then I'm like, okay, let me go put my earrings in. Like, you have a way of making sure that everyone like sees the beauty in themselves. And it's not like not the manufactured. It's what's truly on the inside. Yeah. And preserving that.
It's like, when I see a person, when I know you, oh my God, when I know you, I see everything inside of you. So I'm like, come on, let's pull that out. Come on, let's tap into that. Come on, it's like I have an eye for, I don't know, just the beauty inside of a person. People think I do hair, and it's like, oh yeah, you just do hair. No, because everybody can't sit in my seat.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody cannot sit in my seat. And if you don't belong there, baby, you gonna know you don't belong
there.
Yeah,
you're not gonna feel comfortable.
You're not, and I don't say anything.
Yeah, no, that's the thing about you. Like, you're very protective over who, like the core and true of who you are. Mm-hmm. Like, you're very protective of that. Yeah. And you don't allow anyone in your space where you know, like, if they, no, you're not. That's who you are. You're very protective over even down to, like, if someone is in your space, that person as well. Like, making sure everybody is comfortable. Making sure everybody, no one feels awkward. Everybody is on the up and up. And if it's not, you are one of the people that I know that's direct. Outside of my mom, you're one of the most direct people. Okay, so what's up? Okay, so I remember we were out somewhere and you peeped something and you just went right and said, hey, so what's going on? You know, very direct, very upfront, not aggressive, but just the best way I can describe it is just a direct person.
Yeah, because we ain't got time. We ain't got time to be what? Dilly-dally?
Dilly-dally. No, don't have time for that.
Like, let's get back aligned with what's good.
Exactly.
Where that's always been me. I know bad. You know what I mean? And I know good. Yeah. And I love good. And I love positivity and happiness and joy, and you know what I mean? So being who I am, doing what I do, encountering the people I encounter, like, it's a blessing to me. It makes me feel good.
Yeah. People are, as much as I try to avoid people can sometimes be medicine for me, because it's like that physical. I have encounters where it's like it reminds me of that physical representation of God's love towards me, you know. Mm-hmm. And that to me is just so profound, and I love that. I love when I can encounter people and we talk, and we laugh, we joke, we have a good time, and it's just, I don't know, it just makes me feel amazing.
So now that you're on that, so this is our very first podcast, okay?
Yes.
And I was like, oh, let's invite this person, let's invite. She was like, no, we're gonna stay right here. This is what, we came up with. It's the foundation, it's the blueprint of the direction that it needs to go in. And I have a nonprofit business that she is a part of.
Yes.
You are heard, so this is under the umbrella of that. And being that she is the vice president of that, some biz that word, okay? Clock it. So this is important. This sets the groundwork. This is what we're going to build off of. So welcome to our world.
Yes.
But being on that topic, my question was for you. It's in my phone, so I ain't gonna fake like I wrote it down. But okay. But being who you are, you are a helper.
Yeah.
You are an encourager. And being hurt how you have, how are you finding your way back to trusting people enough to be that again?
So, I would say it's definitely therapy. Therapy has definitely been one of the best decisions that I've ever made. More importantly, learning the type of therapy that I needed. When I started my therapy journey, I started with talk therapy, just talking, having someone to talk to. But then I realized that just wasn't enough. And I got into what is called more cognitive therapy, where, we kind of go back to the root of things and we kind of figure out, well, let's get back to, so this is happening. Why are you reacting that way? Like, where does that come from? And we're able to kind of tie it back to maybe, something that happened in my childhood or my first, because not everything is rooted from childhood.
Right.
It also could be from your first interaction with something. Right. Not talking about it saying your first interaction is in childhood, but it's sometimes like that first intention. So therapy, and then I just think for me, because I was just so sheltered as a kid, and I say that with pride. I didn't know a lot of things. I was protected from a lot of things. I think experience, learning that we evolve and we grow, and that may have not been their best representation of themselves.
Right.
I think
they, as in our
parents, friends, family, just anyone who may have wronged you, anyone who may have hurt you or mishandled you. I think basically all under the umbrella of you being mishandled. I just think, and also it's God, really. Like, I have a hard time sometimes because I really have a heart that is not perfect, but it definitely emulates how God loves us as his creation, as his children. So I'm able to kind of just say sometimes I have to, and I don't do it a lot, which is why I struggle with my depression and my anxiety. I have to kind of give what I experience and what I take, and I have to give it to God.
What I've learned in that is doing the opposite of what I feel.
That's good.
Every time I want to lay in my bed in the morning, 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, when my thoughts are racing, and I'm just like, okay, let me just pull the cover over my head. Let me just, I'm gonna sleep for 2-3 more hours before I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna go walking. I'm gonna sweat. I'm gonna talk to God. I'm gonna give this, give whatever this is inside of me away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wake up. I want to see a clean space around me. I don't want to have to. I have worry in me already. I don't want to have worry in my visual.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't want to worry about washing no dishes. I don't want to worry about mopping, dusting. It becomes OCD. You know what I mean? It becomes a little obsessive.
But if you keep, like like I hear like if you keep your outside, like what's going on the outside, you know, it's all about like I know that if you align or keep order has a way of taking over. Same with if there's like dysfunction or, you know, disorder inside of you, depression, it has a way of spilling over into other things. So that's your way of saying, hey, we may not be all the way, but this is what I can control, this is what I can do, so this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
You know? Right. Sometimes I have a hard time, or I've been having a hard time with that, if I'm being completely transparent. Sometimes I only have enough for the day. Whereas before I didn't have anything. Like I couldn't function at work. I would just sit and, you know.
And see, it's the celebration, really.
Yeah.
Because I've witnessed it. You know, I've seen you, you know, and from the very beginning, you know, so it as a friend, as family, as your sister, you know what I mean? Wanting something so bad for a person, seeing something in someone, seeing how certain things affect you. I think what people have an issue with me, this is where my control comes in. Where I'm like, no, you can do this. No, you can do that.
We've had several of those conversations.
I know you can.
We have had several of those
But I'm
conversations.
proud of you though. Like I real deal proud of you because, baby, this ain't easy. This ain't easy. And you ain't even got no kids.
I remember, you know what's crazy? Like, it's so important. Like spaces like this, constant, continual conversations about what's really going on with you. I think we seek out and continue to create and cultivate spaces because I was mentioning to my mom like maybe a year or 2 years ago. I was like, I looked at her and I was like, I can't imagine, you know, having 5 children and feeling like this, not wanting to get up, not wanting to, you know,
going through heartbreak with your kids, going through financial struggle with your kids, going through
all of that
stress from a job with your children, going through whatever, girl, divorce with your children.
It's happening to you, but then as it's happening to you, you also have these responsibilities for these kids, these children who you've brought into this world, who you've been blessed with the responsibility of guiding them to their mature season, their, you know, the next season in their lives when they're no longer solely dependent on you.
So it's a weird transition because they are your reason why until they're not. Then you have to find another reason why.
Yeah.
So I have, you know, Macho. So he's senior going off to college, proud of my baby. And then I have Avery. That's my baby too. He's too much like me though. But, you know, for a long time, Macho was my reason why. Avery came along, he's my reason why too, but Macho instilled in me what a mother was. He gave me that purpose, that drive, that reason, that hustle, that I can't give up, I can't da-da-da-da-da-da. And then it came to a point where I'm like, whoa, he don't need me to do this. He doesn't need me to do that. He doesn't need me for certain things. And who am I without doing that for him? Who am I? And it's a level of depression that comes with that. And I didn't even realize, like, because I was so distracted for so long. So I'm like, oh, like, yeah, waking up.
So would you say, would you say that, you know, becoming Macho's mother, was that your transition from young woman to being a woman? Or what was that like? Like, when did you know that you were no longer like you were a woman?
So I had Macho at 18. I walked across the stage, graduating from high school, pregnant with Macho. I found out I was pregnant with him October of my senior year. So I didn't become a woman until, honestly speaking, of what I feel the standard of a woman is until about 27.
Okay.
Before then, I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Before then, I was coasting. I was distracting myself with focusing on being, without focusing on just being a mom, being present, being financially stable, being, my mom instilled some great things in me growing up. Got my first job at 15. Okay, here go the light bill. Yeah. Teach me how to pay a bill. Teach me that don't depend on a man. Here, you go buy your own shoes, your own jewelry, your own this, that. So whoever comes along, you're not in need of something. You don't go sell yourself short because you want something from somebody, anybody. So I had skill and I had wisdom of how to survive, but to be a woman, to be graceful, to be submissive, to be patient, to be kind, to be caring, to be nurturing, that didn't come until I sat down. And I saw, because what I saw from my mother, who was a teenage mom, was survival. Yeah. She's very successful, well over 6 figures a year, all this type of stuff. But as a teenage mom, and even I noticed the difference between parenting Macho and parenting Avery. Yeah. It's just you're in hustle mode, you're in grind mode. They don't get a lot of teaching from you. Yeah. They get a lot of survival tactics, wisdom, all this type of stuff on, but so at around 27, 28 is when I tapped into the type of woman I want to be. And I had to observe, and I was for so long just in my own way, like, well, I don't want to be like nobody, or I don't need this, or I don't need people, I don't need, it's crazy. That was my mindset. Yeah. God has delivered me, baby, heart of gold. When I tell you God has given me something placed on the inside of me that is intangible, that I'm just like, all this forgiveness I got, God, all this grace I got, all this, Lord, you sure it's for me? Lord, why right now? Right now. But it's cool. But I'm grateful. I'm thankful. But I had to seek out women who I did admire. Yeah. Who I did look into how they were as parents, how they carried themselves, how they were in a relationship, how they, just people who, and I told those people, like, hey, for a season, I feel like I need to sit up under you and learn something. For a season, like, now I didn't say that to them until the past couple years. Right. Yeah. So from 27 to then, I had to build up courage. I had to build up, like, okay, I had to humble myself. I had to try to, get away from who I built myself up to be. Yeah. So, yeah. And I'm still evolving as a woman. I'm not a perfect woman. I'm not by my definition. Not by nobody else's definition, though. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Not society standards, not based on age, it's just when you, for me, I know that for me, I had to, first, I had to stop being a nigga. A real nigga. Sorry for our... Sorry. Yeah. But... Only we can say it. And what I mean by that is, my dad raised me. He was my physical parent. So I had my mother, of course, but I had my dad. And he raised me. So I knew, and I was daddy's girl. Still am. I love him, but dale. Carlito. But I was raised by my dad, so and he was my physical parent. So with that is, a lot of mannerisms, my pride. I had a real mean streak in me. And I first had to kind of undo that, and one of the things that I did to undo that was go spend some physical time with my mom. So I was 23, 24 years old. I was at a place in my life where I'm not married. I'm not seeing anyone seriously. I don't have any kids. I didn't go off to college. I'm like, you know what? And I saw that my favorite teacher, she posted that her mother had died.
And something in me was like, you know what? I knew my mom, but it was just something about not having that constant, being able to wake up and see her, or being able to wake up and go to her house.
And it almost makes you feel like you don't know them.
Yes, seriously. It's true though. Yeah. But it's true. Like, I knew my mom, but those 6, almost 7 years that I spent when I moved to where my mom is, were some of the most amazing times. And I would say within the first 6 months of being there, I kind of got insight into me, and because you see yourself and you can recognize all of those things that you align with my dad, and then picking up on things where you don't understand where things come from, and then being up there, I can see, both of my parents, they are polar opposite, but they are the same people. They're so giving, they're so loving. He's more outgoing. She's more like, I can be, but I don't want to be. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do what it takes, but I can show up and be what I need to be when I need to be it. So for me, I would say within the last 2 years, I kind of am carving out that woman that I want to be, but it took me having to kind of go and sit at the feet of the woman that birthed me, spending that physical time, and also giving her that physical time too, and I'm blessed to say that in that time I'm able to call my mother my friend as well. So it was super, super, super important. So yeah,
I'm seeing that sometimes when we feel lost, when we feel like something is missing, when we're in pain, it'll push us towards a purpose.
Yeah.
In the season. So in some seasons where, whatever it is that caused you to go up there, or even when I went to visit my biological father, looking for, what am I like? Because I'm not like these people.
It's just I'm so, like I was an island.
I feel like I'm on an island. Yeah. I know where I come from. I know, my mom, my sister, my grandma, I have great family, great women around me, but it's still, I'm me.
Yeah.
And it's something that I do that's different than this. And I see similarities, but what about this other small piece of me?
Right.
That if I go and get to that puzzle, and it might,
yeah, it might make sense. Yeah, it might add up. The math may start mathing.
The math might start mathing. So I definitely, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah. So we'll edit this part, but go ahead.
When did you know God for yourself?
Oh, so that's a personal one, but I've told people this testimony, so I'm not afraid to tell it, right? Just if you are spiritually in tune, this for you. And if you're not, and if you don't understand the power of God, then it's not for you. Okay. But it was a situation where my life was going to go one way or the other. And I was at an extreme crossroad, and I had just came home from a place where I was very lost at that time, and I felt like nobody understood me, nobody was there, all the pain I've been through, Jesus, that's a story for robbed, tied up, certain types of abuse, Jesus, right? So, and I hadn't had the confidence, or what goes on in this house stays in this house type. And you take that along with you, not just in your home with your parents. You take that along with you in life.
Right.
When you're taught what goes on in this house stays in this house, that's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Because you take that everywhere. So whatever I'm going through, I have to deal with on my own. Nobody can be there for me.
Yeah.
Nobody